and welcome back to Bookish Theories. Today we pass the mic to ENHYPEN because we might have some news about the lore. In my last video I mentioned them as a joke and now here we are. I feel like I manifested it, so let's take a look at what we got. Now in the new leg of the Fate Plus store, a new VCR was added to the bunch. The VCR is associated to Mortal, the intro of Orange Blood, and it focuses on the members waking up at the dawn of a new day in an empty amusement park covered in orange flowers. Now human, the boys reunite with each other and decide to cherish this happy moment in their life, even knowing that it won't last forever. This is the main message of Mortal and Orange Blood as a whole, so it makes sense that we see these visuals associated to the song. The point of the album was that love is more meaningful because it's not everlasting, so as they wake up after being saved by their loved one, they decide to seize the day and enjoy life to the fullest. In the story, this loved one that saved them is obviously Sua, but when it comes to ENHYPEN themselves, their loved one is you, their orange flower, which is why this new day is filled with orange blossoms. In the clip, however, we also see very interesting details that are not so easy to decipher. We see Jake with a blindfold, Sono checking his fangs, then we see Jay bleeding, and most importantly Songun with a neck injury. So what does it mean? What's going on? Did Sua just eat him? And where are they? Let's find out.
Let's go.
Okay, let's go. Good.
Now, first of all, context, because that's the most important thing. If you're watching this video, I'm pretty sure you know about Dark Moon, and if you know about Dark Moon, then you also know that this is a story with many different versions. We have the webtoon and the Wattpad that are somewhat similar but not identical. Then we have the cartoon, which is cute but also a little bit useless. Then we have the music videos, which for the most part follow the lore, but they also take some poetic licenses. And last but not least, we have the story told in the Blood series, which is inspired by Dark Moon, but also not directly connected to the main storyline. In the same way, the VCRs of the Fate Tour take some liberties when it comes to the lore, because yes, they are 100% Dark Moon inspired, but they also follow the direction of the Blood storyline. Like the title implies, the Fate concept is the main focus here, so the songs and the VCRs are structured in a way that the concert tells an overarching story from start to finish. In the specific, the Fate Tour tells the wonderful but tragic story of 7 knights cursed with immortality. Once upon a time, the 7 chosen ones were turned into powerful vampire lords by Selene, the lost princess of a forgotten kingdom. Their mission was to protect the woman that gave them immortality, but soon enough this gift turned into a burden. Unsure on whether their new reality was a blessing or a curse, the 7 boys became blinded by arrogance and lost everything as a result of their sin. They were cursed to oblivion, they forgot who they were, where they came from, who they were meant to protect, so they became pitiful monsters unable to die but forced to wander for eternity. It's only when they reunite with their loved one that they finally remember their past and their purpose. The powers they have are powers that she gave them. The immortality they were granted is an immortality that she gifted them, so remembering that they are connected by blood, the 7 knights are saved by their loved one as they dedicate their life to her. This leads us to the new VCR, which shows us the aftermath of this salvation. Now we are in present day, and the boys are human because their sacrifice broke the curse. The video can add on to the concept of Orange Blood, to be honest. The boys are now free to enjoy the mortal life they were deprived of in the past, and the video focuses on the happiness they feel in being surrounded by the love that saved them. Obviously, this love is symbolized by the orange flowers, which is engines. If during the concert the members are surrounded by the fans that chose them and gave them love, in the same way the VCR shows them being surrounded by beautiful flowers that symbolize this love and blessings. At the beginning, for instance, we see Jake with a blindfold covered in orange flowers. The same flowers also tie him to the chair, and these are both references to their songs. The flowery blindfold might be a nod to Blind, where the light of the person that saved them blinds their eyes as they become greedier for their love. Once again, the source of light is also their loved one, hence why Jake is blinded by the flowers representing this feeling. In the same way, the flowers tie him to the chair, which might be a reference to Bite Me. If you remember, back in that song they had quite a few requests. They wanted their loved one to save them, to kiss them, to bite them, but they also specifically requested to be tied, which might actually explain why Jake is tied by the blossoms. Sano checking his fangs in the mirror instead kinda reminded me of his part in the Orange Blood trailer, where he first wakes up and realizes that he's human again. Back then his humanity was portrayed by the sound of his heart beating, but now we understand that he's human because he checks his fangs in the mirror but cannot see them. Like in the trailer, moreover, Sono sees his brothers having fun together from the window. In a similar way we see them running happily surrounded by flowers, and in yet another parallel, Jay hurts himself but doesn't mind. Back in the trailer, if you remember, he literally face planted in the field and scratched his arm, but he was happy to see the little injury. It was like a small proof of his mortality, if you will, and the same thing happens in the VCR. This time Jay runs by a bush and cuts his finger as he brushes against the flowers. This little repetition seems to match the lyrics of Mortal here. The song encourages to carpe diem, seize the day and enjoy the moment, because one day even the starlight of the universe will close its eyes and all these precious moments will become engraved in a fleeting repetition. As we know from Sweet Venom, in fact, this is a temporary bliss, so it's important to cherish every experience. The venom of the bite that saved them is spreading and will soon curse them again, which is also something that Sunghoon's splitting neck reminds us in the VCR. Now, you would think that this is a reference to the Dark Blood trailer, because back then Sua beat him and he evaporated in the sun. Yet I don't think that this is the case, because the director of that video later hinted at the fact that Sua might not have done it after all. The sound effects were a major clue there. When Sua beat Jay, for instance, you could hear the chomping and the sounds of her drinking him. Same with Jake and Sono, but when it came to Sunghoon it was crickets. You couldn't hear the sounds because she didn't bite him, which also explains why he had no bite marks in the Orange Blood trailer. In a surprising turn of events, however, this time Sunghoon is beaten, and not only the bite is still fresh, but he's also the only one having it. Now, if I had to take a guess, I think that this might be seen as a reference to the sweet venom that is spreading in their veins and that will soon curse them again. Since the bite is still fresh, the boys are still in the blissful stage of their mortal experience. They don't know what's coming, they don't even care, because they're just chilling and enjoying the moment. The focus on Sunghoon especially, though, might also imply a possible spoiler about the next chapter of the Blood series, because in that version of events, he is the love interest instead of Hee-sung. If that's the case, then maybe the bite might imply a further connection with Selen, which is the one that captured Sua and took Sono hostage back in Orange Blood. Another reason why I think that this might be the case is the location. In the VCR, the boys are in a literal carnival, and when Selen was revealed in Orange Blood, the carnival music was playing in the background. Like we saw in the Border series, the carnival very much symbolizes deception in their lore. It foreshadows subversion, a sudden turn of events, which really makes me think that this might be the quiet before the storm. The very concept of Orange Blood already implies an upcoming turn for the worse. By focusing on enjoying the moment, they also remind us that this happy moment is precious because it won't last forever. There's an ending to this happiness, and it's coming soon because the sweet venom is spreading. Because of that, I think that the VCR captures their short moment of bliss before eventually falling in the darkness again. This is a very sweet ending for the Fate tour, but it's far from being the ending of the story because more lore is coming soon. To know what's coming, for now we'll have to wait and see, but in the meantime, let me know what you think about the VCRs in the comments down below. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please think about liking and subscribing. As always, thank you so much for watching, guys. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.